very special friend and family member and a good friend to all of us, Arturo Guajardo, would like to say a few words.
One was a special friend to me. Later became primo because I took away one of his primas. Juan and I went to high school together. That's been a while, 1965. And there in high school, we always said that we wanted to attend college. I mean, neither Juan or myself or any member of our family had ever been to college. Or ever been to middle school, actually. All our parents were probably in grade school only. So when we got out of high school, we took a trip to Kingsville, to Texas A&I at the time. And I know we didn't drive because neither one had a car. Juan y yo no teníamos. So we drove with somebody over there, and then they got us in a gym or an auditorium, and we were talking to counselors there. Of course, we were looking for financial aid and loans or other type of help to go to school. Well, Juan is on a table right next to me, and I'm on the other side. And Diablo yo a Juan, y digo, oye Juan, they're asking me what do I want to major in? ¿Qué es eso? And digo, pues, dile lo que te gusta, whatever you like. I said, well, I like Spanish and I like PE. So to make a long story short, I did graduate with a degree in Spanish and PE. Little did I know that it was very hard to find a job teaching Spanish. En la escuela in PJ High School, había una maestra, Miss Barrera, and she was going to be there till she died. So it was impossible to get a job there. Luckily, we came back and we went to Pan American siempre because neither one had a car, and we went to Pan American Ryansboro. We got picked up here on 281 and they took us to the actual Pan American College. And that was a daily thing. Okay, so we worked at it. We went to, in 1967, midterm about our college years, we took off with several friends to Detroit, Michigan to find work. This is the summer of '67. We got employed by the Detroit Fords, and we made axles for cars. And Juan and I were in the same team, just loading axles there. So Juan and I were very, very close. We went back and we rented a house that was condemned. We actually lived in a condemned house where we didn't have to pay anything, but luckily we had beer. We had beer, the refrigerator was full of beer. And we had a great time, came back from Detroit, Michigan with a little money in our pockets, continued school, but at the time, it was Beulah. When we came here, you all will remember, well, not many of you will not remember. In 1967, we had a Hurricane Beulah. Right here in La Colonia, we used to live on the first street here. Juan lived further down, and we lived with our parents. Well, my mother was dead. My mother was gone, and Juan lived with his parents. We were in a little house here that we had, and we were by ourselves, and we were actually playing cards and drinking beer. And we were up to our knees in water. Here in La Colonia. But Juan noticed right away that there were some people, firefighters, transporting people into the old basilica, to the old Catholic church, which is gone. It got burned, you all would remember, in 1971. But at the time, in '67, and Juan said, hey, let's go help them. So here, the leader at the time, Juan, was a little older than us. He was about a year older than us. He took us, let's help these firefighters. And Juan was always helping people. And we took people that afternoon and that night into the Basilica for Beulah. Well, right after Beulah, Juan and I got married. Se casó Juan and I got married with my wife too. And guess what? We needed to work. Okay? So we got a job at the police department here in San Juan. The chief of police at the time was Santos Salinas. And we knew that he was put on there by the Anglos, so we were fortunate enough to get a job there. They allowed us to work at night, full shift, and go to school during the day. Juan tells me one time, and he said, Juan, have you noticed that we don't arrest any gringos? Yes, Juan, but I remember one time when I was there, they arrested a Joe Drake. Joe Drake was an Anglo who went to school with us here at PJ High. And he was totally drunk. They brought him in. But as soon as I started writing him up to put him in jail, someone came and just took him home. Yeah, we didn't have that luxury, but the gringos did. And that told us something. We hardly went to the south side of town, our north side of town here in this area. We had caliche streets. We didn't have sewer. We had the outside previes, una casita chiquita, because we used to knock down on Halloween. But we decided to do something. And then we had this kid, Jesus Ramirez, Chuy Ramirez, who was still in high school, doing walkouts and joining Mayo and writing for the Llamero and then El Portavoz. This kid, a high school senior, had a lot of talent. He's now an attorney, by the way, graduated on the top of his class at the University of Texas. I wish he were here, he's not here. So Chuy got us involved in organizing people. And we started with the party that you all may recall, La Raza Unida Party. Okay? La Raza Unida Party. And one was the leader of that Raza Unida Party. We started having, and Juan, believe it or not, was the chair of this party here at the local level. We had conventions led by Juan Maldonado at Dodimes, which he was a counselor there. And we did all this good stuff, organizing, talking to people, knocking doors, registering people to vote. You had to pay $2 poll tax to be able to vote. So that was hard. Si la gente no quiere votar cuando es gratis, can you imagine having to pay? Well, we did it. And we did well. We ran some candidates, Leo Montalvo. We ran a governor, Ramsey Moniz, you all remember. Obviously, we didn't win. And we went on for a while, and we ran in San Juan. Okay? In San Juan, we ran in 1971 under La Raza Unida Party. It was kids our age, in their early 20s, and knocking on doors and getting people registered and trying to beat the gringos. Well, I was one of the candidates at the time, and I had just gotten a job teaching PE at Buckner Elementary. I was a coach there, and I got a letter from the superintendent, Dean Stiles. He said, you can't run. I mean, you can't run for public office and you're a teacher. You either choose to be a teacher coach, or run for public office. So, well, okay. So I came back to my group and I said, I'm not going to run. So you guys need to figure out. And we decided on a gentleman by the name of Lalo Arcaute to run for mayor. Lalo was already in his late 30s, an older gentleman to us. He was already involved with Lions clubs and baseball programs, etc. So he was a lot more clean cut than we were. So it was Lalo Arcaute, Juan Maldonado, and Tony Garcia at the time. We went by the name of Los Tres. Okay? We had a little fist on the bumper stickers at the corner. We had a little fist like that. And Lalo said, no, I don't want that fist. So what we did, we cut off. In the bumper sticker, we cut off the fist and we used them, and that was it. No more, we had bumper stickers with a minus little corner there. But we won, believe it or not. Lalo became the first Mexicano mayor here in San Juan, and Juan Maldonado and Tony Garcia the first commissioner. And Juan Maldonado said, you got to come back. Me dijo a mí. So I went to Crystal City because I was on a program getting a master's. I had two sons at the time. My son Arturo was 4 and my younger son Marco was 1. So we went to Crystal City for a couple of years to work on a master's. And I came back and Juan talked to me right away, hey, I want you to run with us. What are they? So in 75, we won. It was Lalo Alcalde, Juan Maldonado, Mayor Pro Tem, and myself. They were 2-year terms. Well, Juan Maldonado was the leader all the time. I have a picture there, and I forgot to bring it. Bring me the picture here, please. Lalo Alcalde was a good mayor, don't take me wrong, but the real leader was Juan Maldonado. Okay? And this can tell you something. See who's in the middle there? There's Cesar Chavez and myself on the other side. And the leader was always Juan Maldonado. Everything that Juan Maldonado said was done. We were so proud of that man. If Juan were to walk into this door right now, okay, everybody would turn and look. He was very, very noticeable because of his birthmark, very distinguished birthmark in his left eye. Everybody knew Juan because of that birthmark. But Juan would come here, and everybody knew that he would go around and not only shake your hand, but give you a hug. This is Juan Maldonado, okay? I learned that from him. I hug everybody now because he taught me that. He was a great person, just an individual that liked people, and he could always gather, make a gathering big. Juan Maldonado became the mayor right after Lalo. Juan Maldonado became the county chair for the Democratic Party. We joined the Democratic Party because we didn't win in the countywide or otherwise with the Raza Unida Party. But Juan Maldonado would have conventions, whether it be the Raza Unida or the Democratic Party here in Hidalgo, and he would make big gatherings. He would fill the room at any place. People liked Juan Maldonado. They liked his leadership. He was a very, very unselfish person. He would hug everybody, and then he became the county Democratic chairman of Hidalgo County. And he will forever be missed because he was a leader, not like, I'm sorry if I'm going to step on somebody's toes here, but we have never had a county chairman like we had on Maldonado. He later became the DNC, Democratic National Committeeman for South Texas in the nation. He was selected to be the South Texas coordinator in 1976 for the Jimmy Carter campaign. Remember that? Yes. He ran in South Texas. He ran the campaign for Jimmy Carter and did very well, won well. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me in honoring this great gentleman, Democrat, my friend, Juan Maldonado. Gracias, don José.